Hello you, it's Josh here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another tutorial. Today I'll be showing you 3 easy designs to make turnstiles in Theme Park Tycoon 2. We'll be starting off with the easy design, but as we go through the video we'll be getting with harder and harder designs as we go. So our first design right here is this simple little design with some ladders on it right here. You've got your scanners and a bit of design, but it's not too hard to make. So first of all, just to clarify with all of these, I'm going to be making around 2 gates like this. It depends on the size. I might be only making 1 gates on these harder ones, but that's not this episode anyway. So for most of these right here, I'll be making them with 2 gates just because I feel like that's enough, and then you know how to easily copy them, you know, if you want to do any more than just 2. So our first step right here is going to scenery, go into primitives, and find this little primitive cuboid right here. Now we want to place this exactly in the middle, so what we want to do is go into our precision build mode on a quarter snapping, and we just want to move it across 1/4 like so. And then what we want to do right here is just leave a 2 gap like so, a gap like this, and we just want to place in one like so and another one in like so. I'm going to be painting mine this grey right here on metal, although feel free to colour, you know, whatever you want. You can colour it black, white, red, green, blue, whatever colour you want here. Now that we've got our main blocks in right here, what we want to do is just go into other, and we want to scroll along until we find our ladder right here. Now we want to place this just in the middle like so. We want to move this down on no snapping, just a little bit like so, and then we just want to move this across on 0.1 snapping, just so we get that little gap like so. We can place that in, just rotate that round like that, and we can place another one in like so. And then if we go into a quarter snapping right here, we can place that in like so, and in right here, and of course we just need to paint that all. And we're almost finished. What we now need to do is just go into our primitives right here, scroll all the way along until we find our pole right here, and we just want to place a pole in like so. We want to move that back on no snapping until it just starts to show through, and then we want to move this down on a quarter like so. Actually, we can move that round a bit on no snapping if you just want to make it a bit more equal like so, because it's not quite perfect if you move it down on a quarter. And on a quarter snapping, bring that across and place them all in like so. Now I've added this as a bit of a detail right here, so I'm going to use some metal plates just because it, you know, breaks it up a bit and stops it from looking like one big metal box, you know. And finally we want to add our ticket scanner in right here, which is exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to grab this little pole like so. We're going to place it in right here, and on a quarter snapping, we just want to bring that round like so, and down 1, and then we just want to bring that up on no snapping until it starts to show through. It should only be a little bit like that. I'm going to add a bit of a lip, although feel free to do whatever you want right here, and I'm just going to bring mine round until it's about even on all the sides like so. Now I've painted mine over here just a bit of a darker grey like this, just on metal, although feel free to paint this whatever you want. But that's it. That's literally the entire turnstile done. Of course, feel free to extend this, and one little tip right here as well is obviously this one right here doesn't need 2 ticket scanners. So if for example this is the end right here, I would remove this one right here, because then that one's for this one and that one's for this one, so it all makes sense. Our second design right here is a little bit more difficult, but it's still pretty simple, and it's this little kind of glass gate right here which should spin around, you know, rotate around. So just as we did last time, we want to find our center, although this one's a little bit more difficult, so of course we're using our poles right here. So we just want to bring that right there and one in like so on a quarter snapping. We just want to place that in, and we want to have a 2 gap like so, and the same on the other side like that. We just want to have another 2 gap, and then what we can do is just paint all of these into our grey metal like that. And on top we can just get straight away into, you know, we can get straight into putting our little scanners on here. You know, we might as well while we're here. So we're just going to search for a pole right here, and we're just going to move that down on no snapping until it just starts to show through, just as we did on the last one. Color it the dark grey like that, and then we can bring these across on a quarter snapping onto all of these poles. And just like last time as well, we want to add our details on right here, so we can just bring this across on no snapping, and we can bring it down until it's about even right here. Place that in. We want to paint a nice grey with metal plates right here, and we can just put that on every single pole just to add a bit of decoration, you know. And now onto the difficult part, because it's time to actually sort out our glass. Now what we want to do right here is just go onto fences, walls, and poles, and we want to scroll all the way along here until we find our glass panels. We just want to place this in here with precision build mode, and we want to rotate this around. I'm just going to switch to 45 degrees just to make this a bit easier right here, but we just want to bring this going right here, and we just want to bring this along by 0.1 like so. So of course that just closes up that gap a little bit more, and then we can just bring this down a little bit less. It doesn't really matter how much, but I'm just going to bring it down to about there. We can place in another glass pane like so, and then now it's time to add our edges in. So what we want to do is just go back into our precision build mode on this glass right here, and we want to scroll along until we find our ceiling pole. Bring that along, make sure we're no longer on a quarter snapping, of course, right here, but we just want to rotate this round, place one of them in like so, and then we want to place in our other poles, which we can do just right here like so. I recommend bringing this down just a little bit, because if not it'll look a bit, you know, dodgy there. And we just want to do the same thing down here as well, just placing another pole, and then we can color them all. And our final one right here is actually really detailed, and this one's a big, you know, ramp up from the last one's difficulty, but I didn't want to put this in the next episode where I go through the very difficult ones. This is it right here. It's a really nice design with these sort of, you know, I guess corkscrews sort of things right here where they have the 3 bars and they spin around as you walk through. And, you know, a very classical turnstile design. You've probably seen these 1,000 times because they're very popular. So to start off right here, we of course want to come into our primitives and we just want to find our bar by scrolling all the way along like so. So to start off right here with our final design, we want to come into scenery and we want to scroll all the way along until we find our bar right here. You'll find it eventually right like this. We just want to bring this up right here and we just want to bring that down by 1 more on a quarter snapping and rotate it round by 45 degrees. I mean 9 degrees like that, sorry. And then we want to set our custom snapping to 0.125. We want to bring that one along here and bring another one in like so, which will give us a little thing like this. We can then bring this going all the way down and we just want to set this to no snapping so that we can actually place this just set into the ground like so. Now if you've actually got paths right here, you have to bring this down right here, but it completely just depends on whether you've got paths or not right here. And we're just going to place in another one there on a quarter snapping. Moving on to our side bits right here, we just want to bring these along. We're going to use a slightly smaller bar because there's no reason to use a bigger one, and we're just going to bring this down right here until it just lines up right there. And we just want to do the exact same on the other side, and to bridge this little gap right here and fill in this weird little gap, we just want to bring in this right here, bring it up until it lines up, and we could just place in that there and also that there, very simply. Now I feel like this is a good time to start painting stuff, so we're just going to get our metal in right here just as we have with the other turnstiles. We're just going to get our grey metal like so, and we're just going to paint that all with our grey metal. Now for these underneath bits right here that the actual turnstiles connect to, what we want to do is just grab our bars that we've been using right here, and we just want to rotate this round by 45 degrees, although I do want to also set it to global snapping, so we're just going to rotate that round by 45 degrees. And now we're on global snapping, we can just move this up or down or wherever we want very easily. And basically what we want to do is just line this up with our edge right here. We want to rotate that round by 90 degrees so it's round like that. We want to place in another one in like so, just like that. Place these in like that, rotate it round, and then we can actually just use this on no snapping and bring that up until it just goes underneath like that. And we want to place in 2 to just fill that gap right there, so go on to half snapping, and then we can paint this all right here a lovely metal plate, seeing as this is our metal plate detail, I guess, right here, just so it's not all the same color. And there we go. That's actually the bulk of our thing right here. Now before we get on to the complicated spinny thing right here, yes, very technical turn spinny thing, we want to go into our primitives and we can just scroll all the way along until we find our little mini bar like that. And just as we've done with the other two right here, we just want to put this on no snapping, bring that down until it just has a slight little ledge, and we just want to place this in so that it has about equal sizing either side. Obviously it's a bit difficult because it has this curved bit right here, but we can just place this in on that one right there, and not wood, we want to place this in with metal, and there we go. What we want to do is just grab our pole like so, and just in the middle right here, we just want to place this in on grid, rotate this around by 45 degrees, and then just move this up by a quarter snapping like so. Now we can already place in our first bar like that, and we can just bring this across by a quarter, and then we want to move this down by just 1, 2, 3 like so. And then on a global snapping, of course, we can move this around and go on 45 degrees like that. We then want to move on to relative snapping, bring that out by a half like that, and then we can just go back onto global snapping, rotate that round by another quarter like so, and bring that out by a half on relative snapping, which will give us something a little bit like this. One thing that I do recommend doing is just moving this top one back by a little bit. If you want to just move these back, I recommend moving them back by about 0.1, not that was a weird number right there, by just 0.1 like that, and we can just move that back, and it'll just feel a bit better, you know. Oh, and for the actual painting of these right here, we can just grab this little light gray and we can place those in like that and just paint them all. So we want to just first of all go into our precision build mode by holding shift and clicking right there, and then on custom snapping we just want to set that to 2.5, and then on 2.5 we can actually just move this across like so, and we can do this for the entire thing. Now instead of moving every single piece individually, what I actually recommend doing is just bringing across either the right or the left side right here, because of course this is made up of 2 bars, and then you can just move them all across on a quarter. So as you can see right here, now we've got this entire side in here, we could just move these all across by a quarter like so, which just makes it a lot easier. Now for these down here, don't forget to go into global snapping, because of course if you move these by 2.5 right here, it's just gonna, you know, piss off into space. What we want to do is make sure we're on global snapping, and then we can bring these across by 2.5 on all of them like so, and we can do the exact same thing and just move this over by a full one for this underneath bit right here, but for the rest of it we should now be fine. So we just want to search up our glass, or just go into walls and poles and get glass from there, and we just want to put our glass panel in like so. We of course want to find a middle. Right now we haven't actually got the middle, we want to move it over by just a quarter, and you can see that there was actually a gap right there, so you don't need to move it in, but it does look a little bit nicer like this, you know, let's be honest. So, you know, do do whatever you want right here, I guess, but we just want to place it in a glass like that. We want to go into AMP primitives and scroll all the way along until we find the smallest pole right here, the little fin pole. And of course, we just want to move this across by a quarter, place one in like that. We want to place one in like that, rotate this round, move this down, and place one in there and one in there. Now, keep in mind if you are using paths, and now let's paint it all. I'm going to use this slightly lighter gray, you know, just so it's not all the same color, and also because we're using it right here and it kind of looks nice. And there we go. That's basically everything in. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video has been very helpful. That last one was a little bit more difficult, of course, but it is one of my favorite designs out of all of these, and probably the most useful because it is one of the more simple and more realistic ones. They're the sort of ones that you'd see in real life. So yeah, but thank you all so much to all my channel members and Discord server boosters. They are all absolutely amazing. If you'd like to become a channel member yourself, you can click that little join button down below. You get early access to all my videos, early access to 𝗬𝗂𝗽𝗍𝗪 streams, shout outs, and so much more. So if you're interested in that, it's only 99p or $1.30 a month, and that's just down below by clicking the little join button. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment down below if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help. But except from that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Goodbye.